Hello, and welcome to What a Beautiful Day, a podcast where we talk about the little things that makes life beautiful. My name is Johnny Lee, an aspiring artist / entertainer. I'm here joined with my co-star, Vincent Tanner.
Hey, it's me.
And we have one special guest and a regular guest, the regular guest being Jazmin Luna.
Hello.
And our very special guest today, better than the last one, is Sarah Campbell.
Hi!
So you can probably guess from the picture and the title of the podcast video, whatever the fuck you want to call it, it's about veganism. And the reason why we're talking about it because Sarah Campbell is actually a vegan. And we're pretty much going to spend the next few minutes or whatever hour, I don't know how long this is going to take, about veganism. So let's just go ahead and get started. Sarah, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi. I'm a graphic design major. I'm graduating this, literally in a week. And I work for a company on campus and will continue to do so until I see fit.
Cool.
And also I do other things.
Yeah, because you paint a little bit.
Yeah, I paint.
You're getting into painting a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so my very first question to everyone, me included, is about veganism. Where have you heard about veganism and all that stuff? I didn't know it was a real thing until I saw Scott Pilgrim. You know what I'm talking about? In Scott Pilgrim, it's about ex-boyfriends, I guess, whatever. And the second it was the third evil ex-boyfriend, and he was a vegan, and he gained powers because he was a vegan. And I didn't know about it until I was reading it in Scott Pilgrim when I was in middle school, freshman year in high school. That's when I found about Scott Pilgrim, and then the movie came out, and I was watching it. And the guy who played the vegan was, I think it was Chris Evans. No, it wasn't. I lied. I'm completely lying to you everywhere now. Chris Evans. Peters? I don't fucking remember.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's how I found out about veganism and all that jazz. We already fucked up.
Did we?
Yeah, we need to talk about the definition of veganism.
Oh my gosh, I wasn't prepared. Hang on.
Wow, we are terrible.
Don't use Wikipedia.
Use Wikipedia.
I'm definitely using Wikipedia.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like there's some...
Well, what's your definition of veganism?
So a vegan is someone who doesn't consume or take part in anything that has to do with an animal. So, to the furthest extent, as in not buying leather, shoes, and basically just being earth conscious to a really intense degree, just conscious of your carbon footprint kind of thing.
Alright, what's the definition of veganism?
Veganism is the practice of abstaining from the use of animal products, particularly in diet, and associated philosophically that rejects the commodity of status of animals.
Okay, cool. Alright, Vincent, when did you hear about veganism?
I investigated being a vegan at one point. Ended up becoming a pescatarian, but I looked into it and I was like, nope, can't get rid of fish.
Yeah, I love fish.
Several years ago, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, you were vegan once?
I was a pescatarian once.
Why?
Oh, it was just, I wanted to get rid
felt
of, I get sick of everything I eat, so I thought, hey, this might be the solution.
Is it a fad? Oh, you mean by sick as in physically sick?
Yeah.
Not a mental sick of food.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have a fucked up immune system.
Yeah.
All right, Jazmin. Well, how veganism? How did you hear about veganism?
I tried to be vegan.
You did. I remember. You
when
told me.
I was in elementary school. I think it was 8th grade.
That's not elementary school.
Sorry, 7th grade. That was right before. That was right before I went into middle school.
Wait. What?
It works. The school system works different over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Keep going.
But I ended up being a pescatarian and only ate fish. But then I switched on and off between fish and chicken, which is those.
Now you don't care. You put whatever you want.
But
in your
now
mouth.
I'm thinking about going back to.
Really?
Yeah, I talked to Sarah about it.
You do know most of the food
I
make is
I know.
mainly beef.
Yeah.
Johnny Meat.
Jo-
Classic Johnny Meat. It's in the cookbook. I
yeah.
swear.
That's actually, yeah,
It's good though, right?
it is.
Sounds
It's pretty
gross.
There's Johnny Meat and Johnny AIDS.
good. What?
It's a mixture of Gatorade and Sprite that I made myself.
Both of those
Johnny.
things sound sexual in nature.
They do.
They're
but
supposed to.
it's Food.
That's what I go for.
Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Meat is so good. All right, Sarah Campbell. How did you find out about veganism?
Through the internet. Because, like, YouTube. There's a crap ton of vegan YouTubers. And I was going through some bad stuff when I was, like, in high school. So...
Do you want to talk a little bit about that, or do you not feel comfortable?
Yeah, let's not. I didn't have a healthy relationship with food, basically. And so I was trying to find something where I could not restrictive eat and not gain weight. So it was like not a healthy mentality going into being vegan. It was, how can I get food in my body so I don't die, but like not put on a whole bunch of weight, you know? So I was trying to find this middle ground.
This is hardcore.
I know, right?
I thought you were veganism because of animal rights and crap.
No. And I had like the shittiest digestive system ever. I got it from my dad. He has a really bad one too. And so yeah, that was also a big reason, which I kind of screwed it up with all the stuff that I went through in high school. So that just made it worse. And then I was an unhealthy vegan for a while, which had to do with just like other eating disorders. I have had like,
You wave your arms around a lot.
I know, I'm sorry. I've had like 6, so it's weird. But anyway.
Yeah, but because I know you wave your arms around because that's what you're trying to get to.
Uh-huh.
They can't see that.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay, you're still gonna do it.
Yeah.
Do you ever miss eating meat?
No. I used to miss... See, I don't like... Oh my god, what the hell?
Wave your arms more, Sarah.
I know, right?
The lights turned off.
There we go.
Okay, holy shit. Scared the fuck out of me.
I used to miss, like, it's not that I don't like meat, it's that I choose not to eat it, you know? But, the way, you know, like when you put sausage and beans, and it just makes the beans taste, like, so much better. You know?
Oh, yeah, like
or
the
like
flavor.
a ham bone or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, stuff like that. And then not being able to, because I went vegan when I was like a senior in high school. So I, from then on, did my own grocery shopping and my own meal prepping and stuff like that. So I missed like, because my dad cooked for us every night growing up. And it was kind of like a disconnect between me and my family. I was eating something different than they were. And so it was, you know.
That was an episode in Simpsons.
Really?
Yeah, Lisa became not a vegan, she became a vegetarian. While everyone else was eating like veal.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I think it was Thanksgiving or Homer was like, I'm going to have a huge ass barbecue. And it basically alienated her from being with the family.
Yeah.
And she was like, I can't be with this family or some crap like that. But there was like a whole episode about it. That was also the very same episode where one of the Beatles was a guest character in the episode. And he was like, I forgot who it was. But he was like, I will only be in the episode if you make Lisa a vegetarian. It's a vegetarian episode. And you make her a vegetarian. Because they don't really, what is it called? When like, continuations.
Oh,
Yeah,
like,
this-
yeah,
yeah.
continuity.
Okay. Yeah, it's like because the Simpsons don't really like to continuate from like the previous episodes. They want to make it like an individual thing, but
Continuity.
continuity, yeah. And the only thing that really is stayed the same is that Lisa has always been a vegetarian, and she's been a vegetarian since like 2000 something, and she's still vegetarian right now. So that's kind of cool. Okay. When was the last time you ate meat? Like, if someone offered you a pepperoni pizza, would you just eat it?
No.
Okay.
So
Like, fuck us then. Whatever.
the last time I ate meat was, I want to say it was like last year, actually.
What?
I know. I like broke off for a bit.
Blasphemy.
I was going through some weird stuff my first years of college as well. And I was like, all right, well, I'm clearly, I'm not going to like restrict it if I want it. So I ate like a piece of sausage and I was like, this is gross. And then I haven't since. So
Do you think it's good? I'm sorry, keep going.
it's easier to eat things that like you can't see. So like say you have like some gummies with gelatin in them, you're like, these are just gummies, they don't, and then, but now like my mentality these days, because we do have gummies with gelatin in my apartment right now, and every time I think about that, I'm like, oh, you really, no, don't do that, that's gross, that's animal bones.
Do you think it's because your palate changed, that when you eat meat now, it's way more gross than it was?
Oh yeah, 100%, because now I can't stand the smell of like hamburger meat, and that used to be my favorite. And so when it's cooking, can't do it. It's gross.
Oh my god.
But, yeah, chicken grosses me out intensely. Everything else is like kind of okay. It all like some of it still smells good. Like bacon smells good.
I don't know. Bacon's like, to me, it's like, it's too fatty.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Turkey bacon. We grew up on turkey bacon.
Oh, that's like a Mexican thing.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's not. It's a white thing.
Are you white or are you Mexican?
I'm Mexican.
Huh.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
I thought you were Russian.
Johnny tells that to everyone.
I wish you were Russian.
Yeah. Thanks for wanting to change me.
Oh my god, I would love if you're Russian.
Oh my god.
Eat beef stroganoff like every day. Because that's like the only Russian food I know that exists.
Amazing.
I don't know. Do you guys have any questions for her?
I've had a question that's been burning all day.
Is it itchy?
Yes.
Do you want to scratch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the itch. So basically, you once told me that if they test anything on animals, it's not vegan.
Yeah.
If you grow a crop
Yeah.
and you give it to a cow to test to make sure the crop's okay, is that crop no longer vegan?
Oh, that's such a good question.
That's
But
such a
also
hypothetical question.
very dumb. I mean, truthfully, it is, because when you're testing on animals, you're not putting blush on a bunny. Like, it's not that kind of thing. You're taking the chemicals and the things that probably aren't that good for you. That's why they're testing them on animals. So, hypothetically, a vegetable would have to be like completely genetically modified or something like that in order for it to count as animal testing. If you grow a potato and you're like, oh, we put another chromosome in this, I don't know how it works, and then you gave the potato to a cow.
Oh, okay.
I mean, unless you were like harboring cows in like a place and you were like, we're going to feed them all these potatoes and they're treated badly, that's the main thing.
So it's like philosophical.
It's like harm.
Or
Ethical.
there we go,
Ethical.
ethical.
Yeah.
Not philosophical. Okay. That's interesting. That is a dumb question.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for that question, because it just shows me that you have way more knowledge on the topic of veganism, because a lot of people just become vegans just because it is a fad.
Right.
At some point, it is a
Definitely.
fad, and it was a fad for a while.
About 250,000 people went vegan in January this year.
Oh my god.
How many of them are going to stay?
Well,
That's the question.
that's probably like a New Year's resolution thing.
Probably, yeah.
So, vaccinations, they have like pig parts into it. I'm dumb. I'm a big dum-dum. But I know for a fact that vaccines have like pig stuff in it.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know.
A lot of modern medicines have animal stuff in like the ingredients of the medicine and stuff like that. How do you feel about that? Is that okay to you, or do you feel like you're all organic?
Yeah, I didn't have a clue about that. But also, I only get the vaccines that are a necessity. So, like, I don't get flu shots and things like that. I've never had to. The one time I got a flu shot, I got the flu.
That's
so.
like some well, yeah, it's because you have to build up the immunity. That's some anti-vaxxer like mentality.
Really?
I think it is. Like,
I mean,
like the whole measles thing, they were like, it hasn't been here for a while, so why should we have it, you know?
Right.
And then it came back.
I understand.
Because of that French boy.
I understand. I understand completely. Like, my kids will be vaccinated. I'm not gonna, like...
Okay, so...
Get, just, like, completely restrict them from that because... I don't know, you pick your battles, and that's not one of them.
Be smart about it.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Like, just in case it's not hurting them. But I didn't know that they did that.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm a big dum-dum. I'm retarded.
So maybe not even true. Maybe
But no, I know for a fact it is. I just don't know how it affects it. But I know there is animal parts, especially parts of a pig. I want to see the fat. Again, I'm a big dum-dum, and I'm pretty sure I'm not bullshitting. I know for a fact there's parts of a pig in vaccines. And it became a big problem with, say, the Jewish culture.
Oh.
There was a huge outbreak with the Jewish culture, I think, in New York right now because of the whole measles outbreak, and they didn't vaccinate because they were within their own contained group. It was okay, but then with the whole measles outbreak, there's a big outbreak right now with the Jewish community in New York right now, and I remember listening to that on the in the morning radio, wherever the talk show, wherever. I thought that was like really crazy and wild.
That is kind of wild. I wonder if those Jewish people are like very, very Jewish, and that's why they didn't, or educated in the fact that, do you know what I mean? Like, they're very religious, or do some Jews get vaccinated?
I'm pretty sure it's like a really, it's because it's not kosher.
You're right, yeah.
Well, yeah, that there's that topic where, like, modern medicine, there's going to be parts of, like, animals.
Yeah.
In some way.
You just can't get away from it. That's the world we live in.
Like glue.
Yeah.
Sweet Life is Zach and Cody. There was an episode where there was a horse, and they were like, we have to save this horse or it's going to go to the glue factory. And for the longest time, I didn't know what that meant. And I still don't really know what it meant. Like, is the feet of the horse turned into glue?
I think the hooves.
The hooves?
Yeah.
So do you use glue at all?
I have. I remember I did a project last year that was like paper mache, and I used glue. And then now every time I see it, because I still have some left, every time I see it in my like art box, I'm like, you asshole. Like talking to myself.
Are you going to throw it away, or are you going to be like, no, that's a waste of the animal?
Yeah, I mean, it's like having a plastic bag. If you have, like, say, a Ziploc bag, because I'm really into not using plastic and things like that.
Eco-friendly and stuff like that.
And so you're not going to, like, a plastic bag, which a lot of people don't know, they last for freaking forever. You can use them over and over and over again. And so I'm not going to, like, throw away the plastic bag just because it's a plastic bag and, like, all my plastic containers. So I'm not going to throw away something that,
That's how I feel about, like, just food in general. Like, Vietnamese people, we will eat the whole entire animal. We'll use everything.
Yeah.
There was an episode of, it was like a Gordon Ramsay thing where he, like, travels abroad. And he was in Vietnam, and they were eating a snake. And they ate every single bit of that snake, including the bones. They deep fried it and they ate it. Wow. And a lot of people in the comment section are like, wow, that's barbaric, that's... stupid and all that stuff. And in my head, I'm like, I don't think so. Like, you're utilizing the whole entire animal to live. You know how much... there's, like, so much food waste out there.
Yeah, it's insane.
And it pisses me off how much we waste food.
Yeah.
Because I used to work at Pizza Hut, and we threw away... Well, we tried to avoid throwing away food because the whole expiration date is just, based on them, like, what we can sell to the customers. But you can still eat it. And what we do is like, hey, do you want these? Yeah. And they'll just like have like a bunch of like sausages and stuff, and we'll take them and stuff. But there's some points where we're just like, no, we don't want them, and then we'll just throw them away. And I'm just like, fuck that. That's a huge waste of food.
Yeah.
And it really pisses me off when like people, when they eat, they don't eat the whole entire meal of the food.
Oh my god, I know.
And that shit really makes me mad because I'm like, the animal died for you, so you can consume it, so you can gain energy. I'm going to eat every single last bit just to honor that animal.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, that's kind of a weird way to think about it. I've never...
Well, that's always been my thought process where, like...
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat the whole entire thing just to honor that animal.
Huh.
I don't know, Jasmine. Do you have any questions for Sarah Campbell?
How do you get all of your like, not like nutrients or like protein, you know, all that stuff? Because like there's ways, like obviously there's ways, but like
I never think about it.
all right.
Like
Fuck you.
no. Like I don't think as a vegan you really have to all that much. I mean, a lot of vegans take B12.
Supplements.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because B12 comes from, this is kind of a weird thing, but B12 comes from soil. And then, so say you have a cow eat the grass, and then of course the soil goes with it. The B12 absorbs into the meat, and then you eat the meat, and that's how you get the B12.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you would think it would absorb into a carrot, but whatever. I don't know the whole thing behind it. But, so yeah, a lot of them take B12. I do take a multivitamin just because sometimes I feel like I'll go on like a thing where like I feel like I have to eat everything all at once, and I think that's just being a girl, but whatever.
What?
And
Okay.
maybe it's just me, I don't know. And then I'll like pick up my because I don't take it all the time, so then I'll pick that up and then everything's fixed. I'm like, okay, maybe I was missing something, because I eat the same thing for lunch and the same thing for dinner, 2 separate meals in a whole week, and then I switch it to another thing. So if I don't have a certain nutrient that week that I'm missing, so they like magnesium or something, then I feel off, I feel weird, but I don't actually like try to pay attention to it. And for protein, for all those jackwagons out there, they're like, where do you get your protein? Y'all are a bunch of dipshits.
Peanuts.
Oh my
You
god.
can get it from peanuts.
Yeah, you can get it from nuts. Broccoli actually has a higher amount of protein than meat in general.
So does bugs.
Sure.
I'm just saying.
Wait,
it's,
can
it's,
it
a-
eat
it's a
bugs?
basic
Yeah,
fucking
wait, so-
fact.
Can you eat insects? Like, is that like considered?
Well, that's part of the animal kingdom, though.
Yeah,
Oh, I guess you're
it's definitely not vegan.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, which is so weird. I had this lady come up to me in HEB the other day, and she was like, "Did you see those cricket bars?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She was like, "Those cricket bars, they had crickets in them." And I was like, "Oh my god, that's gross." And she was like, "Yeah." And then we talked for a minute, but those crickets, I mean, they're not just like getting them out of nature. Like they have probably like a clear box with with like crickets, and they're like breeding crickets, like some organic cricket,
I get what you
know
mean.
about,
Like
yeah.
farming it or some shit.
In Mexico, because they eat like a bunch of like crickets called chapulines. They're so good. They just get it from the wild.
Well, it's because
They have
Mexicans
like
are
big,
wild.
Okay. They get big nets
Sorry.
and just catch them whenever they're in season.
Dang.
I don't know how true that is actually, but I saw.
Okay.
I know they like just get big nets and then just gather them all. And
Citation needed.
a citation very needed.
Hey,
But
crickets, they taste like sunflower seeds. Or at least to me.
no,
I've had them before.
Shut up, Johnny.
Alright, well, fuck you too. My bad, I don't get
maybe-
fucking forest wild crickets and they're fucking farm fed.
it.
Fucking cage free
That's
and all
like
that
the
shit.
fucking package ones you get at like Spencer's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I got them. I got them at Spencer's.
No.
Actually, I got it at Hot Topic.
Oh, okay. It's the
There's a
same
video of me on Facebook eating them.
shit. Right. Oh, I seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Post the link.
it was.
Don't.
Do it. I'll send it to you.
Don't post it.
No, because the ones that you get like from like not flea markets, but like just
Cricket markets.
Yeah. From people who like actually make them and like cook them or whatever. They're like thick and juicy and they're really good. Shut the fuck up. They're
I'm sorry,
really,
I'm actually gagging a little bit.
Yeah.
they're pretty
It's
good.
because they're white. They're never going to experience this because they're white.
Yeah.
Sorry that we're indigenous people.
Oh
We
my
are not.
God.
We are not.
Yeah, I'm a city boy.
Please. No. Yeah, but no, they're pretty good. And I mean, like, a lot of people, like, survived off of that back in the day. So that's it.
Last night I watched The Beach with
What the fuck is that?
it's like an older movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. As like a young guy. It's not that great. I wouldn't watch it. But anyway, I like watched him eat a what are those? It's kind of like a caterpillar, sort of.
Oh.
Yeah, except it was like green. I've never seen one before.
A maggot?
And
Maggots aren't green.
he just put it in his mouth. He didn't even like chew it. There was no crunching sounds or anything.
He just swallowed it.
I guess so.
Have you seen the video Bear Grylls eating this giant beetle larva?
Let's change topics.
No, it's like the grossest shit in the world. He's all like the indigenous people. Like, swear to God, he calls them indigenous people. He's like, the indigenous people used to eat these all the time. And he's like hitting tree bark and he finds like a couple tiny ones. And he just reaches there. He's like, oh my God. And it's this giant one that's the size of his hand.
Oh,
And he just
he just chomps in?
Yeah, and it's like, you just see him eat it. And he's all like, all right, I'm going to do it. And then he eats it, and it spews out red and yellow.
Oh,
goo.
you've shown me this.
Yeah,
video.
and it looks like ketchup and mustard. And he's all like, I can't eat for a week or some shit like that. But I'm not gonna lie, I want to try it at least once because I want to try every single type of food that I can. Because I think it's interesting. It's interesting what people will eat in another country compared to what we eat.
Yeah, I mean, totally. I watch tons of like Andrew Zimmern and Anthony Bourdain, which Andrew Zimmern's the one that eats the weird crap.
Is he the guy who's like weird food? What is it? Bizarre food?
Bizarre foods.
There we go.
That is my shit.
Anthony Bourdain loves Vietnam.
Really?
Yeah,
Cool.
he's in love with Vietnam. He wanted to like move there. He's like, I don't know. He invited Obama to Vietnam, and they ate at this like really shitty Vietnamese restaurant there, and they were just like,
I might have seen that.
and they were
episode.
they were just drinking cheap
Yeah.
beer and then eating like random food, and they're just like having like the best time in their lives.
You don't hear much about Vietnam.
You really don't.
Like, even as like a travel destination, anything like that, you don't hear about that. So
That's like another topic that I want to bring up in another video.
Without Sarah.
Because there's no, because like Vietnam's like, I mean, I'm Vietnamese, and it's a touchy subject for me because there is a huge Vietnamese population in America, especially in Texas itself. If we got rid of the languages like English and Spanish, the third most spoken language in Texas is actually Vietnamese.
really,
And I barely hear about Vietnamese anything in any media. And it kind of makes me mad a little bit because I know Vietnamese people are like, there's a huge population of them everywhere.
Right.
It's usually either Chinese people, Japanese. You're starting to hear more about Koreans, which I think is really cool. But the only time I ever seen any like Vietnamese person in any media was in Hey Arnold, and that's because Mr. Nguyen, which is one of the tenants on Arnold's boarding house. He was in there, and he was like a prevalent character, and it really spoke to me because I was like, I never seen a Vietnamese person ever. Like I said, it's a whole conversation on another time. I don't want to fucking bring that shit up, but I don't know. Let's go back to veganism. Do you have any other fucking questions?
Yeah, but all my questions are really dumb. So, where do you stand on tomatoes? Are they a fruit or a vegetable?
That's your fucking question.
They're
That's my question.
a fruit, but
They taste like vegetables.
I use them as a vegetable, which is kind of weird because if you think about like tomato soup, you know, it's so strange.
Well,
it's
that's like applesauce.
No, but it's not heated.
Yeah.
Some people
Well,
eat
no.
heated applesauce.
No, you're right.
Well, it would be like a gazpacho or some. You know what I'm talking about? Like those cold soups.
I hate cold soup.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I hate
That's
cold
like
soup.
gross, but I don't know. It's like eating a hot smoothie. You know,
Okay.
kind of weird, but yeah.
Do you just
I
eat
love
plain tomato soup? You don't dip it with grilled cheese? No, never.
Oh,
mind.
she
I
can't
guess you
have
can.
grilled cheese.
I mean, there's vegan cheese.
Yeah, there is.
What's vegan cheese?
It's really gross.
Vegan cheese? So like
It's
my
really
favorite-
gross.
I've had it before.
Jasmine.
I know.
Some of it is bad, like really, really bad. Normally, the more expensive it is, the better it is. So the way it goes. Unless it's like a really popular brand, like Daya or Daya, however you pronounce it.
Never heard of them.
It's everywhere. That's weird.
Sure.
Whatever. No, some of it's good and some of it's bad. Like their cheddars are good, but the rest of it's not that great. Chow is a really, really good brand. It's made from coconut milk.
Okay, when you say chow, that's it's rice porridge
Oh.
in my
Yeah.
in my country. That's what it's called. That's what I was like. I don't know why you randomly brought that up or whatever. Keep going. Sorry, fucking whatever. Bringing back Vietnamese stuff.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But it's made out of coconut milk, and it doesn't taste like coconut, which is not the case for a lot of things made with coconut milk. It's really, really good. Incredibly overpriced, but
I feel like a lot of vegan things are overpriced.
yeah, I'm just waiting for them to like make like Velveeta
Oh,
taste alike.
Isn't like Annie's?
Speak
Do you know
louder.
what I'm talking about the
Yeah.
Annie's
I know
brand.
Annie's. Yeah, do have
Aren't they
a-
vegan?
No,
They're not.
they're fully organic and like clean.
Oh.
But a lot of their stuff is vegan. Like their chocolate bunnies, those things are my shit.
Oh.
what is
But
that?
they're these little like chocolate bunny grams. They're wild. Love them.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I know that they have a box of vegan mac and cheese, but I can never find it. It's like green, and the rest of them are like purple and orange.
What do you mean by green?
The box is green.
Oh, I was like, the cheese is green?
No, that's gross.
I
I feel
mean,
like I've seen that before.
It's green eggs and ham. Never mind. I didn't think that through before I said it.
okay. I don't think I ever really had anything like specifically a vegan dish. Obviously.
really?
Yeah, like I've eaten obviously fruit everyone has and all that crap.
What
like
about
by
like
itself.
accidentally vegan stuff? that you
Probably.
just had? Yeah.
Like ever since I started dating Jasmine, I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm just saying, like, you know, we buy crazy crap all the fucking time everywhere we
yeah.
go, and I'm pretty sure there's like a legitimate vegan food, like that candy we had. It was ginger candy.
Oh yeah.
That was really good.
Gingins?
Yes.
Those
Like,
are so good.
yeah, it was really good, and you know they're vegan and stuff like that. And I think that's the only thing I've ever really had that is like specifically made for vegans.
Right, like it has like the label on it and
Yeah.
everything kind of thing.
What about you, Vincent? Have you ever eaten any like vegan dishes? Like,
I think, well, ratatouille would have been vegan. It was all vegetables and spices.
I didn't know ratatouille was just vegetables. I thought it was a bunch of tiny pepperonis.
I thought so too. On it, because
It
just
looks like it in
yeah.
Ratatouille, the movie.
Yeah, it looks so good.
That's what it looks like. They did not do a very good job, you know?
They made it
I
look
mean-
really good.
Yeah,
like,
they
really
did.
good.
Well, like all the stuff you cut up for it is like rounded, so
Yeah.
that makes sense.
What does it have in it?
Zucchini, eggplant, tomato. There's a third, like phallic shaped fruit.
I feel like
fruit,
a
I think.
cucumber.
No.
No, it's
Yeah,
not a cucumber.
Is it just like zucchini and squash?
It's squash. I think
So,
it's
like,
squash.
Yellow and green. Yeah.
I would like to try it out.
It's really good. It tastes just like spaghetti.
It's just glorified
Really?
spaghetti.
I might have made it wrong. I'm not gonna
You just
lie.
accidentally made spaghetti on a ratatouille.
I did follow a recipe, but
I mean, it's Italian, and so it has all the same ingredients as spaghetti minus
like
the noodles.
Basil and Parmesan.
yeah, basically, yeah.
Jasmine, have you had any specific? I know you have. That jackfruit taco thing.
Oh my god.
So-
Did
Talk-
you like it?
I fucking loved it. All right,
Really?
so I went to California for
Loser.
shut the fuck up, for Christmas, and I spent most of my time with my brother, and he got the gout. And
I bet he loves this being on the podcast. Vincent, cut that out.
Absolutely not.
no, he got the gout, and he went to the doctor and everything, and had to drive in California to traffic. It was crazy. But
gout.
he yeah, the gout.
Is he okay?
He's fine, I guess. And the doctor told him it's because his sodium levels were like high.
That's salt.
I would
Sodium
love
levels.
to touch on sodium. Keep going.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that after this whole entire conversation. Go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he needed to eat less meat because our family has like a history with high cholesterol.
It's because you're Mexican.
Yeah. And
Well, it's true.
it is true. And so my brother was like, all right, I'm going to go vegetarian or vegan. And so, and it sucked because it was Christmas and Mexican families like go all fucking out with like a bunch of food and like tacos and everything. And he's like, fuck, I'm going to have to like, you know, get something else obviously. And so I guess he was like looking up online like how to like make some like tacos or just food in general. And he came upon a recipe for jackfruit tacos.
Yeah.
And he made it, and I was there like watching his son or whatever, and he was cooking it, and we were about to leave, and he gave me one, and that shit was so good. He seasoned it so well. It tasted like meat. It tasted like meat, and it was
like pulled pork.
Yeah, it tasted like pulled pork.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what it's supposed to mimic.
Yeah, and it was so good. And I want to ask him for that recipe because I
wonder if he probably used canned jackfruit.
Yeah, it was canned.
They have jackfruit at HEB right now.
They do.
The same day that the lady was talking to me about the crickets, a lady before that stopped me and she was talking about the jackfruits.
What are all these little ladies
I
go
don't
to?
know. Like I saw so many people in HEB.
Have you heard
that
about
day.
jackfruits?
Yeah, she was like, I saw those being cut on TV, and she was telling me how to, and I was like, girl, I know, but because apparently, like, if you don't get them in their native place or like somewhere where they're grown, they can taste like diesel. So, but then if you eat them, so like say in Hawaii or places like that, then they'll taste like bubblegum.
Tastes like diesel.
Diesel, yeah.
It was
It's like really bitter and gross.
really. I don't know. The jackfruit I've always eaten has always been good.
Really?
I won't say it tastes like bubblegum. It just tastes really crazy sweet.
I didn't know it was naturally sweet.
Yeah, it's naturally sweet.
They're crazy looking things.
They're spiky as fuck. I'm scared to touch them.
Are they the yellow ones that have all the spikes and they're huge?
Yeah.
We should get one.
They have like giant pods of seeds in them. We should.
Yeah.
Oh man, we should.
Why don't we have one right now in front of us?
Because I didn't know we were going to talk about fucking jackfruit. That's a lie, I did. I knew. Because I knew, like, I was going to bring up this topic, and I knew what Jazmin was going to say, and that's the whole jackfruit taco thing, because she's been raving about it.
Yeah.
Because we would talk every night when she was in
California,
and she was telling me about the tacos for, like, the next 5 days. And I actually really wanted to try it. And I actually really wanted me to, like, try it out, because...
I've had jackfruit once. My mom brought home, she was like...
Was it diesel?
Accepting my veganism, I guess, or whatever, which they didn't have a hard time with it. But it was the packaged ones by, like, Upton or something like that. I don't remember. It's really cool packaging. You should look it up. Anyway.
Damn graphic
but
design.
It was, like, curry flavored, because she was like... There was like barbecue and blah, 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 but I know you like curry. Well, I'm real picky about my curry. So I didn't like it. I ended up, like, rinsing all the seasoning off and, like, doing my own thing with it. And it still wasn't that great. I'd like to try it again to see. Because that was, like, my second year being vegan, maybe.
I was just going to say, that was incredibly disrespectful. Your mother brought you that
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, she's trying to
as a
help you
gift.
out.
It was really nice of her. I mean, I appreciate the thought.
That's it.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
Thanks for trying. You want to talk about sodium levels?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, like, people, this is not going to be interesting, but the average person consumes so much more sodium than, like, you're supposed to. And I have, like, a really low tolerance to sodium. So I, like, pay attention to everything. Like, I just know sodium amounts on anything. Come up with something right now and I'll know it, I swear.
Really? Hot
Yeah,
Cheetos.
anything. Hot Cheetos?
She's looking at your bag right now.
I'm gonna do, like...
Fucking cheater.
No! What's the serving size? Because I don't actually know. Probably 18.
21 pieces.
21. I'm gonna go with, like, a good...
Get the hot Cheetos and see. Test the
I
shit.
checked it.
Oh, okay.
Like, hot Cheetos are hard. I've never looked at that. But I'm gonna say, like, 340, 360.
260.
Really? That's lower than I thought.
You're such a fraud, dude.
Oh my god, give me something else!
A stick of pepperoni.
I'm not gonna know meat.
That's
Why
true.
would I don't even know how much milk costs.
Well, I don't know anything that...
That's a conversation I had with my dad. I was like, how much does milk cost? And he was like, oh, I don't know. And then
It's
he
like
said,
$2.
It is not. It's like,
Like
99.
3. Yeah, almost 4.
Well, you guys get the huge fucking jugs.
I'm lactose intolerant. I don't get milk.
I
but
love
I don't know.
Shut the fuck up then.
I don't know how much normal things that people buy, I don't know how much they cost.
Well, the only thing I know that has like sodium is just meat. Does milk have sodium?
No.
A lot of things naturally have sodium. Probably not a lot in milk, but cheese has sodium, like literally anything processed.
Because they tell you how much they add into it, not what it naturally has, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any foods that she might know the sodium levels? Because I can't think of
Cup
any.
of soup.
A cup of soup?
Yeah.
What kind of soup?
Soup is so high in sodium.
I know
like,
mine is.
Literally insane.
What?
We're talking
I had-
close to
I had so
1,000
much.
milligrams.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Jesus.
it's crazy.
I believe it.
Especially Campbell's.
Oh my god, that shit is toxic.
Yeah.
How are you gonna say that when Andy Warhol's favorite type of food is Campbell's chicken noodle soup?
That's why he died.
Yeah, well, he died from a crazy bitch.
No, that's why he died.
No. okay.
Wasn't he crushed by something, I thought?
No,
He got
was
shot by I was gonna say Eileen Warren. It's just not the same person. Fuck. She wrote the manifesto.
The Feminism Manifesto.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's not called feminism, but
What is it? The Crazy Bitches Manifesto.
yeah.
Because she's
We're
a
lucky
woman.
we don't have any female fans.
Good.
All right.
Sorry, ladies, but I'm taken.
Shut the fuck up.
Don't need any crazy fans. Mm-hmm. Fuck, I don't know anything that has sodium levels other than like beef jerky. That was going to be my.
Oh.
But you want to know that.
It's just everything is just too high.
Mm-hmm.
Way too high. And it's crazy because
And we're so used to it now too.
We
yeah,
are.
you like literally you're kind of immune to it. You can't taste it anymore. But when I have like a chip, I'm like, "Oh my god." And it's like,
Right?
you know.
It's so crazy because there was this one girl at work. She would buy hot Cheetos, and that like big bag that I had, she would pour beer salt in it.
Yeah.
And then shake it up,
that
and then
was
they
the
were
thing
so
in high
good.
school.
They were so good.
Well,
But
it's the. Oh, sorry.
What? No.
Well, it's the same thing with bread. American
Yeah.
bread is crazy sweet compared to like just regular bread.
Yeah. It's super sweet and super salty.
Yeah.
Like, bread is really
I'm
bad
addicted to
for
bread.
you. I love bread.
But we're so used
But-
to it.
Yeah. A lot of things have sodium, and sodium is different than salt.
I got my
Like,
sodium.
different-
My Coca-Cola cherry. How much sodium?
I don't know. I don't drink Coke.
Motherfucker. Well, what do you know?
Ask me like a vegetable can, I'm gonna know.
Well, what do you know for a fact the sodium level of? Because the past two that we have, you either don't know or you are wrong.
That's probably pretty low.
How much? Just
20,
guess.
25.
60.
60. I think all Cokes are 60.
Well, what's yours?
60.
Mine's 0.
Because you're
Yours is
drinking
water.
Dasani. Apparently, Dasani is just water. It's not even purified. They claim it's purified, but it's not. Yeah.
I like river water.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Yeah, it is.
That's where fishes poop.
Yeah, it is true. And also, snakes live in it.
Also where people poop.
That is
Maybe.
also true. I don't.
You don't poop?
In rivers.
Where do you poop?
In the restroom.
That's weird, dude.
Well, that's news to me.
Well, I'm just fucking saying. I mean, I don't know. I never heard of that. It's pretty new to me.
Amazing.
All right, Sarah, you have a couple questions for us. Here's the magic paper.
Okay, so this is kind of intense. Are you ready?
Is this for everyone specifically?
Yeah, everyone.
Okay.
Meat eaters. So maybe not Vincent all that much. People talk about how vegans are like brainwashed or whatever.
Okay.
You know, just do you understand that? Do you Savi?
How?
Brainwashed like they're being. Okay, so there's like a whole religion thing behind it. Like
Buddhism?
God put these animals here so that you could eat them, blah blah blah.
Oh.
You know, and so they're like, oh, you're being brainwashed as to like you're gonna get all these health benefits and all this stuff from not eating meat when originally that's what they were put here to do, blah blah blah. Well, first off, let's touch on that because the animals, yes, were put here to be eaten. That makes a lot of sense. That's also because there probably wasn't a whole lot to eat back then. You know, you had to fish and you had to do all these things and grow crops, but probably less crops than, you know, the animals were like natural and the crops you had to plant, whatever. So, but now with the factory farms and all that stuff and how we're producing animals at a insane rate and in not that great a condition. That's the problem. Everybody can't, like, a perfect world would not be for everyone to go vegan.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense, and also would never happen. Okay, so anyway, here it is. People talk about vegans being brainwashed, but some people say that omnivores are brainwashed because they have been brainwashed to think that they have to have meat, like,
in order to survive.
Well, yeah, and like their meals are surrounded by meat. So you think of the meat product first and then you do everything else. So is that being brainwashed by earlier generations and, like, all that stuff? Are we actually the brainwashed ones?
Okay, so before the podcast started, I told you, hey, write some questions down for us. Start with an easy one, and then go intense. What the fuck, man?
I want to point out this is her only question.
I put on the bag.
She wrote. Okay. So I'm gonna go with me first. Reiterate your question again. We're brainwashed.
Who's brainwashed? Vegans or non-vegans?
I don't think anyone's really brainwashed at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
eat what I eat because of what is available to me. Mm-hmm. And for the longest time, what available was to me was mainly Vietnamese food, and not just Vietnamese, but Asian cultures in general. We mainly eat fish, so I'm accustomed to eating a lot of fish. Mm-hmm. We rarely ate meat, and if we did, it would be pork.
Yeah.
We rarely ate beef in general. It wasn't until, like, I want to say we've gotten more Americanized, and my dad started buying, like, random crazy stuff, and he bought hot dogs and all that stuff. And even when I was a young kid, I knew hot dogs were just horrible.
Yeah.
Like, they're made of everything.
They're dyed pink.
Yeah.
They're actually gray.
And I think the only reason why my dad got them was because he saw them on TV.
Yeah.
He's like, this is what Americans eat. It's America's favorite food is hot dogs. It's, you get them everywhere. They're cheaply made and stuff like that. So I think the only reason why we even, eat these certain types of food is just because where we're at right now.
Yeah.
So I won't say we're brainwashed. It's just where we are located. Because in Jazmin's case, and those parts of Mexico, and not just Mexico, but everywhere else, they eat bugs and all that stuff, I think it's privilege that you get to be vegan. And those other countries, like you can't be a vegan, say, in Africa. It's really hard to.
Or, well, like, more so a third world country.
Everyone's going to bring up Africa, but because I'm an asshole, I'm going to bring up Africa. But you get what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think it is a big privilege that, hey, I have the choice to eat this, but I'm not going to eat it.
Yeah.
So that's my answer. I don't think we're brainwashed at all. I mean, I'm big into that. Hey, it's your life. You get to choose whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna force anyone to do anything, and I hate it when people force me to do something. That's just how life is. But that's my answer. I don't think, in my very opinion, I don't think you were being brainwashed. I think you chose to be vegan because everyone has their own choice of why they choose to do things.
Yeah.
And your way of being vegan was way more different than I thought it would be. Because you had that mindset when you were younger, but to me, I thought you wanted to be vegan because I didn't know that. I thought you wanted to be vegan was mainly because of animal rights and stuff.
Right. Now that's more so, and actually the thing that because I was like an unhealthy vegan or whatever, mentally and just what I actually ate for a while, but the thing that pushed me to go fully vegan was ethical reasons. I raised pigs for like 10 years, so they were like really close to, I don't know, I was really close to them, so I have like a soft heart for pigs, and I was watching this vegan video, and this crazy person just like decides to put in like a clip of like a factory farm thing, and it had, the first scene was
they're
like a
horrible.
pig. That's my next question.
Yeah.
it was a pig, and then it like went on to a goose for like down feathers and stuff like that. And I was like bawling, and I was like, how could this person do this to me? Because they just like cut in a clip in their YouTube video, and I called my mom and I was like, I can't do this anymore, I'm going vegan. And she was like trying to talk me out of it. And she was busy. She was like, I can't talk to you right now. And then that was basically it. And then I was vegan from, it was like 8 o'clock on a like a weekday.
Well, Vincent, what's your answer to her question? The whole
I'm actually completely opposite of you, Johnny. I think everyone is being brainwashed.
Are you for real right now? I can't tell
I genuinely think everyone's being a little bit brainwashed. I mean, ads everywhere, you should drink soy milk, almond milk, or you should drink real milk.
Just like influence.
Yeah, everyone's being influenced in some way. And like none of it, I don't think, really matters. No offense.
That makes a lot of sense. No, it makes sense.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question
Well,
is
Jasmine.
Jasmine.
Screw up,
Sorry.
Jasmine.
Fuck me, it's fine. No, I kind of agree with Vincent, except that it does matter.
Well.
So fuck you. Because...
Yeah, slap it!
Because, I mean, there's like those extreme vegans, right? Or like, they're the government and like this, whatever.
Yeah.
Are trying to like brainwash you into like eating meat and, all this shit. It's also the same thing for people who do eat meat. Like, this is the only way you can live, It's easy, it's accessible, it's cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and it's like been like the only, not the only, well, yeah, how we eat for so long.
Yes.
It's so hard to change now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why whenever like people do like turn vegan or whatever, they think of like, oh, you're crazy, you're stupid, you don't know what you're doing. And the whole fad thing, I think, is fine just because it's like a good fad
thing. Yeah,
it's a good thing. It may be like a hipster thing, but it's good. I mean, like I said, there's like extremists on each side, so we can't really do anything about it.
Yeah.
All right, what's your second question?
Okay, it's so you mentioned that you like know stuff about factory farms, that you've seen some of the stuff. So I was wondering if like y'all actually do see the all the shit that happens with just animal abuse, factory farms, things like that. Do you even see it, or do you see it and then you ignore it? Like,
There's I completely understand what you're saying.
Because it's easy to make disconnect between an animal that you're not physically seeing, like their head being chopped off and then put onto your plate kind of thing, because you're just picking it up at the grocery store and it's nicely packaged and, so it's very, like, peaceful looking, I guess, and then you don't know the whole background behind it and all the things that happen.
Gordon Ramsay did that. He purchased 2 pigs when they were little piglets, and he raised them for like, I want to say 2 years maybe. I don't know, he raised them for a really long time. And the reason why he did that is because he wanted to know how it is to raise an animal all the way up, to its adult age, and then to take them to a farm and everything. Yeah. And it was like the most heartbreaking thing in the world. Yeah. Especially, because he's a chef, he's a professional chef. And, he gets all these food, he gets all these food and everything, but he doesn't really know the process of it. Yeah. And when he was taking the pigs to the slaughter farms or wherever, he was having a real tough time. Yeah.
We did that. I did that for 10 years because I stock showed. So that was...
You what?
I stock showed, like livestock show. Like...
You did?
Yeah, for 10 years. It's a long time.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and I hated it, actually. And you just had to pretend like that was not happening, because you take them to the show, you show them, you win or you don't, and then they get put on a truck. Like, you literally put them in this giant truck. Yeah. And they have, the guys there have hot shots and things like that to, like, keep them moving, and, they're just not treated well right off the bat. And these pigs you've raised since they were super little, and you've taken all this time and effort and money to put into these, and then they go straight to a slaughterhouse. And then the pigs that we didn't use, that didn't turn out, we would send them to like a local one. And then most of the time we would trade. So we would get someone else's pig to put in our freezer, not ours.
Oh my god. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, I was. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like the tool they use to kill, like pressure thing or wherever, kills them in the brain. And then what they do is they hang them up.
Yeah.
And then they use like this scalding hot water just to get rid of all the hairs.
Yeah.
And then after that, they cut the stomach open and drain out all the blood. And then it's horrifying.
Yeah.
It really is. Now, is that going to stop me to eat? No, it's not. And it's good that I know that is happening.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I want to be
informed.
informed.
To be educated.
Yeah. You want to be informed of how your food is being processed. And,
right. Well, also, that's not even the half of it. I mean, technically, they're not... Anything that's getting killed is not humane. It's not ethical. Never is. But there are ways that you can go about it that are better than others. And being shot in the head is probably one of the better ones, But all the things that happen before they get killed and after they get killed is what's bad. So beforehand, they're kept in horrible, like chickens are some of the worst kept animals in farms. They'll just be dead and they'll just leave them there. A lot of them get injured and can't walk. And then they throw like male chicks. They just send them down a conveyor belt into a shredder.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, just stuff like that.
That's how they make the chicken nuggets.
Haha, funny.
Hang on. When I make a joke about killing a chicken, I get yelled at.
Yeah. By who?
Sarah.
I was feeling feisty that day,
Well, it's a passionate topic.
Yeah, definitely. But so then you have all these bad things happen to them, and they're not taken care of properly. I heard this one time, they were treating a cow, they literally lit her udders on fire.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know, pretty wild.
Why?
They're impregnated unwillingly, and then their calves are taken from them.
So why the lit on the udders?
I don't know, I can't remember. I just remember seeing that on like an Instagram post, and I was like, wow, that shit's crazy, and then I just like got out of it.
Yeah, but some of it is propaganda though. Some of it is like,
I mean, probably
like PETA, like the whole sheep shearing thing, where they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna like kill the sheep and like all the blood and all that crap. It really doesn't do anything to the sheep. It's actually a huge relief to the sheep.
That's what we were talking about the other day. Sheep having heat strokes.
Poor sheeps.
During the summer.
Like a lot of it is propaganda though.
Yeah, understandable. But some of it
is
it has to come from somewhere. So a lot of it has to be real. And then afterwards, once you do have this meat, like the whole hot dog thing, hot dogs are gray and then they dye them pink. So that's kind of disgusting. A lot of the times companies, because you don't know where your meat's coming from, honestly. Even your, when it has a certain label and like a brand, you don't know anything past that. So you don't know what the farms are like or anything like that. A lot of them, to save money, animals get sick and they have cancer and things like that. And you don't know that until you kill them and you see cancer on your brisket. So what do? They cut it out.
Cut it off, yeah.
And then the rest of it gets, and you know, there's been like a huge influx in cancer. Well, in all these diseases, no wonder it's coming from the food that you're eating,
Wait, so we can get cancer from the... I don't know shit.
Well, you're just putting
dumb Johnny.
bad, gross things into your body.
I don't know enough about cancer to like dispute that.
Yeah. I don't know if you
this is
catch
interesting.
Cancer from,
It's interesting. Now here's the thing. Everything that you're telling me right now could be a big fucking lie, and it is still the most interesting thing.
Sarah's just a massive troll.
It could. She could be. She really could be. This could be the longest joke in the world. But I am so intrigued by this that I want to continue listening.
Cool.
I don't know you. Well, how do you feel about the whole? Because I guess my answer would be ignore it. I know it's there. I know it's fucked up. I still eat. So I'm gonna go with my answer. Ignore it, and I'm not gonna, sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ignore it.
I understand it. It's easy to just not think about it.
Yeah.
And continue the way that you've been living life and not have to worry about doing anything different.
Yeah. So that's my final answer is I ignore it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know a lot about it, and I intentionally don't know a lot about it because I like animals a lot more than I like people.
Yeah.
And
I feel like
they're our friends.
they are.
They don't tell lies.
Hearted, so you would, if you knew about things like that, you would definitely want to go vegan, and then you'd be like, shit, you know.
Well, yeah, and then I'm also allergic to apparently all fruits and vegetables now,
yeah,
so
You're allergic to everything.
I am. But I mean, I choose not to know too much about it. I know it's bad. I know it happens.
Well,
I prefer to think that it doesn't happen everywhere.
well, for the longest time, all we ate, and the reason why I'm saying we is because we hung out all the time, like last semester and the semester before that. All we ate a lot was barbecue. Barbecue and Asian food. Like super greasy. We know that shit is fucked up types of food and stuff like that. But for the longest time, and that's all you can eat.
Yeah, pretty much.
So does that consider him like an asshole because his body can't, process vegetables and fruits? Or do you think that's just like part of evolution and he should just die off? Because do you think you're like an evolved being that you don't need protein as much as like the regular person with sodium?
Me?
Yes. Yes, Sarah. Do you feel like you have ascended?
No. I feel like everybody's on the same. I understand that some people have. There's been a thing that's going around that's ex-vegans are kind of like talking about why they've stopped being vegan and all these things and how they are unhealthy. Most of the time it's because they weren't doing veganism right. And sometimes it just doesn't work for your body and you can't do it. Like I said, a perfect world is not where everyone's vegan. So you're going to have those people that literally, like Vincent, who have to eat the way they eat in order to survive, and you'd rather a person survive than an animal most of the time, so.
No.
Hit or miss.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It depends on the person.
Human life is way much more important than anyone. Or not by anyone, I mean like any animal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just going to say it.
It's fucked up, but it's true.
Yeah, it is. But
If I weighed you versus my cat, we both know which one I'm picking.
Yeah, you're gonna fucking pick me. You can joke around all you want, but we both know you're gonna end up picking me. It's gonna suck. It really is.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm sad.
But that's just how life works.
Your cat's still alive, Vincent. Don't worry.
So, do you think that your answer is you ignore it, or you're just not well informed enough?
I ignore it, but I'm also not informed. So it's about an intentional not informed.
Where do y'all see these things? Like where?
My mother.
What?
My mother just like always talks about this stuff, and then she's like, "Here, I have a video," and I'm like, "I'm not watching that video."
Yeah, like I see it on YouTube and I see it on social media because, like I said, some of it is propaganda, and it's everywhere on social media. It pisses me off when people are like, "Why isn't this in mainstream news?" No one watches mainstream news anymore.
Yeah.
Everyone sticks to social media, and there's a reason why they do.
Yeah.
And I think that that's where I see it all the time is social media. What about you? Do you ignore it or do you?
Well, I
Jazmin,
also only see it on social media. That's like, it pops up randomly on Facebook. Whenever you like click on a video and it just keeps going and going and going. Eventually you'll come across one. And that shit is the saddest thing you could ever see at like 1 a.m. And you get like this whole like, oh, I'm gonna turn vegan, starting tomorrow, whatever, and then the morning comes and you're like, alright, I'm gonna fucking eat this bacon or whatever. But I've tried for so long to like, since I started veganism like when I was in elementary to now.
7th grade.
Yeah, to now, it's so hard. Just because growing up, like every Sunday we would have like a grill out or whatever, and we would eat meat.
Damn Mexican fiestas.
Honestly, yeah, and it was like with church groups and like just family in general, and every fucking Christmas and everything.
It reminds you of the good times.
Yeah, it does, and it feels so good when you're eating it, and you just like remember, like, oh, this was, it's like a nostalgic thing.
Yeah,
and it's for me, it's harder to find a replacement for meat, just because like I'm not well informed at all. I try to look into it, but it's just not.
Well, you do try. Like, I've seen people out there who are like, oh, I'm going to do it, and they never, like, attempt to do it at all. Like, I've seen you do your research, I've seen you try, and it sucks, though, because, like, you know, we're boyfriend and girlfriend, and I eat a bunch of junk.
Oh, yeah.
I'll eat whatever the fuck I can get, because, you know, I'm always interested in everything, and I want to try everything.
I mean, and I don't think there's a problem in that, or with that you eat meat a lot. It's just, I eat so shittily. Like, I eat so shit, and it's kind of hard to stop after you've gotten through a certain point. But I do see it, and like I said, there's like spur of the moments where like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking change, this is it, and then it just never happens. But I do inform myself about it.
Yeah.
And eventually, I hope, possibly, I'll get to the point where this is it, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It's just not now.
Well, that's cool. I mean, even to just like know about these things and like have that as a future goal, or even just like, even as little as like your future goal, like the place that you just want to hit is like no meat Monday, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's still huge because you're making a contribution no matter how little it is, you know? Because like if everybody decides to do that, then you're not just one person, you know? So it does actually make a difference if they're all thinking the same way you do.
Sarah, what do you believe is a perfect world when it comes to like veganism and all what we just talked about right now?
I think getting animals out of horrible conditions. So, and then a lot more people being vegan because it does cause a lot of harm to the earth. Deforestation, just water, cows.
I blame white people.
Shit, yeah, you know what, whatever.
Well, it's because like, if we just stayed where we were at, especially the whole colonies things, because buffaloes for the longest time were endangered. And, you know, back then they were, as far as the eye can see, you see a buffalo everywhere. And that's because of like the whole Native American things, because they ate what they could get. Yeah. And they ate for when they're filled, and then they stop. And then overeating happens, and that's what pretty much happened with the whole colonies thing.
It's just excess.
Yeah.
You can do it because you can.
I think if we just all stayed where we're at, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I like...
Because like the only time I ever see a real problem is just America. I never see this problem anywhere else. Yeah. You know, it's always like an American concept. Like, I think veganism is just an American thing.
Yeah, definitely. No,
is it though? I feel like a lot of other countries are just not vegan or vegetarian, but they're more health conscious about it.
Well, yeah, because we're fat.
Yeah.
We overeat. And that, like, I know it like adds up to like the whole like, you know, all the animals that we're like having all those farms and stuff, and all the chickens all caged together. It's because we keep overeating. Yeah, we just all need to go back to our countries. We literally need to make America great again and bring the Native Americans back. What? My bad. I think Native Americans were treated unfairly by the Spaniards, by the French.
Okay, I thought you were gonna go somewhere else. Like, I don't know.
The whole Trump thing.
Yes.
Well, okay, I just want to be sure, man. Like, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Because this is fucking
Trump is not good for the environment.
No.
He's trying his best, guys.
He literally the other day said that a mother and doctor decide after the birth if they should execute the baby or not. And that's not fucking true.
Wait, who?
Trump.
No, like, what did he say?
He was like talking about abortion in like, what was it? Wisconsin? I don't know, some fucking state.
Oklahoma.
And was it Oklahoma?
I think it was freaking Oklahoma because you can get an abortion at 9 months. Like, what the fuck is that shit?
That's not true at all. And he was like telling, like at a rally or speaking at a rally, and he was saying how... He was speaking about how whenever like late term abortion happens, it's after birth, and the doctor and the mother decide whether they should execute the baby or not. Word for word. And like, how are you?
That's gnarly.
That's so stupid. That's not what happens at all. But whatever.
Yeah, well, that's the world we live in now. And I don't like my shit being political. I really don't care. I don't know. People can do what they want. They can say what they want, and you choose to believe what he says or not. All right, we're done. How do I always end this off?
Well, you say something. Thank you, beautiful day.
Okay, so we talk about veganism. This was a very more well-informed topic than our very first episode about eggs with fucking Zach. So I'm a lot happier with this one.
Fuck Zach.
Yeah, fuck Zach.
Fuck Zach.
Sarah, say it. Fuck Zach.
I don't want to.
She's probably said Zach, and you could just say Zach and then fuck. We'll edit it. To make it
Can you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zach. Fuck.
Amazing.
There we go.
Don't edit it. Just keep it like that. Yeah. This, we learned about veganism. We learned about different types of like sodium. No, we didn't. I don't even know what the fuck I'm getting from this. It was just a very interesting talk, and that's what makes the world beautiful.
Well, thanks for listening to it, because a lot of people don't take the time to.
Well, they should.
I know I didn't listen.
And it's shut the fuck up. It's what makes the world beautiful. That's how I'm ending it off. Again, my name is Johnny Lee.
Vincent Tanner.
Jazmin Luna.
And this has been Sarah Campbell.
All right, and thank you for listening today. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Fuck Zach.